Hi everybody, it's Upland again. I am going to hopefully finish this stunning image by Heather Valentin, Yoshi City Girl. Today, that is my plan. I just noticed I got red all over the place. I have finished the kimono in reds, and originally I was going to do the flowers in pink, but I've decided yellow would be more appropriate since she has yellow on her dress. So that is what I'm going to do. I have given up on the brutfuners. They are just absolutely crumbling on me. So I have switched to my all-time favorite go-to pencil, the Faber-Castell polychromos. So let's get started. I'm going to start with light chromium yellow 106. I even got a new Tagal pencil sharpener since I broke the other one thinking that I could do the brutes in it. So I have all kinds of new stuff. And I'm going to put on, so I don't smear, I'm going to put on the glove. So I'm going to just lay down a light layer of the yellow on these flowers in her hair. I'm not being, I just want to get a layer of color down. I'm not particularly going for any shading at this point. I just want to get a layer of color. As I said, I have given up on the brutes. I have been told I just have a bad set, a bad batch, that other people have not had the issues I seem to be having with almost every single pencil just destroyed inside the interior of the pencil, where it's just crumbling. My problem is, I know they're a budget pencil. I understand that they're a budget pencil. I just don't know if I want to take the chance and buy another set to have a similar issue. I'm going to have to think on that. So, especially whenever I have pencils I love using. At the moment, the brutfuners have left a rather bad taste in my mouth, so to say. So I'm sorry, I'm turning the page. It's I'm not gonna say that they're a bad pencil. I do believe, because of I have talked to several people that have had wonderful experience with them, love them to death, never had a pencil crumble like I had happening with mine. So I'm going to just assume that I got a bad batch, or they were dropped during shipping and the pencil's cores broke. But as I said, right now they've kind of left a bad taste. So I'm going to I put them away, and I'm going to go with other pencils for right now. I may go back to them. I may try ordering another set. I'm not sure, and I don't want to make any rash decisions at this point, because you saw on on the last video that they were crumbling on me, and even the reds as I was doing this kimono. My little red that is I used for the sleeve lining, the sash, and the collar is now about 3 inches long. It once I got past the top part of the pencil, it was just a nightmare to get any, and I wasn't sharpening them sharp. I wanted kind of blunt so I could cover the area, but it was making me not enjoy coloring with them, and that's never a good thing. Whenever all you can think of is how much you hate working with those pencils, because they're just not living up to what the performance that you're wanting. So I figured it was best to change gears, and anybody that has ever talked to me knows that you start a picture with a pencil, you finish the picture with that pencil, but whenever you're not having fun, what's the point of coloring? Now I've laid down a layer of yellow. I'm going to come down here and do these four over here in that same yellow. So since they all seem to be a similar color or type, I shouldn't say color, type of flower. And this is pretty bright yellow to start with, but I want these flowers to really pop. I love the Japanese use of flowers in their everyday life. Just stunning, beautiful flowers usage on their clothing, their households, and that. And I do not profess to be an expert on Japanese culture. Far from it, but I have always admired their artwork and their cute little, the flowers that they use and how delicate and pretty they seem. So it's one of the things that has drawn me to that style in the past, and still does. And so it makes sense. A little overlap of the red. There. I don't have I don't want to put pencil on the outfit I have on. Normally, if I had my sweatpants on, I'd just wipe the pencil on my sweatpants. I don't to make sure that it was any extra color was off of it. But I don't have sweatpants on, so I have a dress, and I really don't want to draw on this dress the pencils. But I don't know if others do this, but I do have a tendency to just, my blender, everything just gets wiped. Okay, now that I have the base layer of color down, let me see if I can adjust this light. I want light, but It seems to be glaring there. Much better. I apologize. Today is not going to be my day, I'll tell you. Yesterday was the 4th of July. And it was a very long 4th of July for me. Now I'm going to take dark cadmium yellow 108 and start defining some shadows on these flowers. Again, I got a nice little tip on my pencil because I want to go in and add a little shading. Define some of those petals. I think everyone in the coloring community is well aware I have a dog, Riggs, who is the love of my life at the moment, and he has a hard time with fireworks, and the yesterday people started shooting off firecrackers, the ones that just explode, about 10 a.m. Intermittent all during the day, and Riggs is just absolutely terrified and spent last night with him laying on the bed with me, which he normally does not do. He normally sleeps on the couch, or the recliner in my bedroom. And yesterday he was in bed, being protected by mommy, and he would not go out, which caused I was worried about him, his health. Retaining urine for over 12 hours is not healthy. So he finally, about 1:30 this morning, I got him to go out. I walked out in the yard with him and stood next to him so he could use the restroom. And then we went back, and at 1:30 this morning there were still people shooting off fireworks. They did not stop until about, it was probably 2 something this morning whenever I heard the last. So I was up a large portion of last night listening to fireworks, comforting Riggs. And I understand that everybody, has the right to celebrate, and after the last year, I can understand their need to want to really go all out and celebrate big. But I'll be honest, while I had a shaking puppy dog on my bed last night, terrified, I was really not feeling the love of people celebrating the 4th of July. And that's, I love the 4th. I love this, what it stands for, what it means. But whenever you have a terrified animal, it's a whole nother level of I wish they would have just stopped at one point earlier than 2:30 in the morning. I thought that was a little long, but amazingly, I only heard the fire truck and ambulance leave the station once. I am less than a quarter of a mile from a fire station, and the houses obviously an ambulance and that. So whenever they leave and take off, I usually hear them. And I only heard them go out once last night with, and it was one fire truck and an ambulance. So I expected to be hearing them go out much more than that. With barbecues and people shooting off fireworks, I really expected to hear them burning all day. So that is a good thing. As long as they're a fireman is a bored fireman is a good thing. That means that there's no one losing property or their lives or having issues. So the fact that they were not running around, I don't even know if you can tell what I'm doing. I'm going to bring this up. Can you see the shading that I'm putting in? For some reason my light has decided to be glary today. I have a new light coming. A ring light, which should help with the glare. At least that's what I've been told. So I am slowly but surely improving my video setup. It was easy whenever I was doing the paintings because I had the big overhead light and it was, whenever you're dealing with a large area and painting, it was much easier. But whenever you're dealing with delicate areas like with coloring, it's a whole nother story. Which is fine. Yes. If you can tell, I'm much more confident using the polychromos. I have been actually using them for years. So I know how they lay down. I know how they act. Very rarely do I get breakage on them, which is a good thing. Okay. But yeah, I'm glad I went ahead and did the kimono off a stream or off a video. It took me several hours between having to stop and resharpen and sharpen and losing leads. It took me several hours just to get the red in. It does look stunning. I like the red, and the red was actually inspired by Tammy, Amazon Tammy, because I know red is her favorite color. And I thought, what a better way to honor her and her hashtag than to do the kimono in her favorite color. I know there's a specific meaning to the red, but what it is, I'm really not sure. I enjoyed the imagery of the Japanese style, but I know most of their things have significant meaning. I am One area that I am not adverse in is the meaning of the symbolism of the Japanese culture. Just not something I have spent a lot of time investigating. I can admire their artwork, the complicated but yet simplistic way it looks. So, and there's just sometimes that enjoying art and culture just for what it means to you is the best way to do. Although knowing meanings is always nice. Okay. Now I've laid down, and my flowers, I'm still not happy with this light. There. Better. I've laid down the two colors, and you'll notice that these are the flowers are kind of bland. So I'm going to go in with dark cadmium orange, right in the middle. And lay a little bit of color. And then pick up my light chrome yellow and blend that all out, bringing it as a cohesive into cohesiveness. I'm going to work on these individually. And I have the light yellow in. Need to do some of these little flower petals. They're up in the air. That's how I'm going to be doing the flowers. I'm bringing some of that orange up to define, kind of over where the, not covering the dark yellow that I used, but just enhancing some areas. Making that a little more making it pop a little bit more. Chasing a pencil. And blending everything together with the light chrome yellow. I want to say cadmium yellow, and that's not correct. Okay, that's how I'm going to do the flowers. I'm going to stop working on the flowers at the moment because I don't want to bore you with doing everything. Now let's do the shawl umbrella, and I am debating if I want to do a natural, like brownish color. Actually, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to flip to my browns, and I'm going to take burnt sienna. Oh boy, looks like 285. And put some burnt sienna along where the spokes are. And I'm making the little spokes here a little wider than what Heather drew them. Adding a little bit of that detail also with the burnt sienna. I do want this to be my last video on this picture, so that's why I'm not continuing. I could color for the next 30 minutes on the flowers. But I've elected not to. Got that one a little off. And I have decided that at the moment I'm not sure what I would do for a background, and I kind of want the picture to stand alone, or the image to stand alone. Okay. That one a little too fat, but that's okay. Okay. goodness. Because I do want to still touch up her hair. Now that I've got her dress on, and her dress colored, I kind of want to pop up her hair a little bit. And that also, and I always say you gotta have to step back whenever you're doing these images. Boy, I moved that real fast, didn't I? I'm sorry. Let's go for a ride, a seasick ride. Okay, now the spokes are done. I'm having issues with this light, I'll tell you. There, better. Okay. I keep saying that and then it doesn't. I'm going to switch to brown ochre, number 182, I believe. I love the fact that pencil manufacturers want to make the pencils look expensive by putting gold writing on their pencils, but man, oh man, do I wish they wouldn't. I wish they would use just black or white. Makes it so much easier. The gold is, to me, is so hard to read. Okay. And then I'm going to go back in with my burnt sienna. Real lightly, a little shading. And I'm doing a downward angle. And then pulling it out, keeping that center white. Then with a white Prisma, kind of softening that up. Let me do that on a larger section. I think that's one of the reasons why I wasn't really particular whenever I was putting in the lines here, because I know I'm going to go back in. I want a definite, looks like a slope on these. As you can see, I'm barely really putting a light layer of this color down. And then once again with the burnt sienna, I'm going to define that spoke again, get a little bit darker, and lightly add shading And I'm barely touching the page. To have this highlight, or low light, I should say, shadow in. I'm not sure if I'm the only one that finds coloring in certain directions much easier than coloring in others. I'm sure I'm not the only one that has that's one of the reasons I spin my page, is because sometimes I just have the angle is weird for my hand. Again, with the brown ochre, go in and blend it out. Again, very light touch on this. Again, I find myself stopping talking. Oh no. And then with the white Prisma, blending out that middle section, making it a little bit lighter. Making that kind of looks like a fold. At least I think it looks like a fold. Anyone have any suggestions? Let me know. And I'm going to take the lights, the brown ochre, which is my lightest color I'm dealing with, on the brown, and do a light layer over this staff handle. So hopefully in the end I will have this look more like well used wood. Getting right up against that piece, adding some shadow. Get under this butterfly, adding a little shadow, adding a line there, and a little shadow on the middle part. Again, hitting it pretty hard right under her hand. And bringing it out of the slope and a lighter stroke. And then bringing it all back with the brown ochre. have flowers down here that I have not touched. Still have to do her little lips. Let's do that. And I know it looks like I'm just leaving part of it. I want to show you what I'm doing and what my intentions are, versus spending hours and hours coloring the same thing over and over again. Now, as far as her lips, this is Fuchsia 125. I'm going to put a real light layer of the fuchsia on. And then come in with Madder. Number 142. Which is a pretty pink. Shading her lips low, leaving the pink, the lighter pink showing through as my highlight. As far as the butterfly is concerned, I'm really not sure. I think I am going to go with a beautiful phthalo blue. To leave a pop, and I think I'm going to do these flowers down here also with phthalo blue. And yes, I'm not being particular. I'm going outside the lines. I'm trying to remember to have a light touch. Not always successful. That I have a tendency to be heavy-handed whenever I'm coloring, I admit. Okay. No, I want to keep that out. I'm going to take. Isn't it sad that you forgot where your pencils are? A white. And go over that line. And I'm going to take one of my permanent markers. I think 0.4 will do. Black permanent marker. And come into her wing. I outline the butterfly's wing. And I'm using a 0.04 tip, though I probably could have gone a little bit smaller. Butterflies are not my thing. I love them. I have an incredibly hard time coloring them. I just do. It's just, I have accepted my fate. I have a hard time coloring animals. And that was my stomach. I apologize. Okay. Flip to the back and take cool gray, which is 254, and do that butterfly belly or body. Okay. And then take my black pencil and define some areas on the body. Wrap some of these areas on the blue. I can pop a little bit more. Now I've got the black down. There you go. Now the same blue. Actually, I'm going to use that as my dark color and use middle phthalo blue as my lighter. Fill in these. Kind of daisy-like. I don't know if you can hear it in the background. My neighbor is mowing my yard. And yes, I pay him to mow my yard. He cuts it as one great big yard instead of two smaller yards. And I'm going to take
the phthalo blue. A little definition to these. I don't know if I'm the only one that has trouble coloring small areas like these flowers or not. I find them incredibly hard. I have a tendency to go messy with them, and it's not exactly what I want. Then I'm going to do this middle again. Then once again, I'm going to pick up the yellow that I used in the flowers up here. And do the centers with the darker yellow. There's no sharper point. In. Okay. Go ahead and finish up these little flower dudes down here. I can put my blues away. There you go. I'll have to tell him, my neighbor, that he made my video. He didn't get a chance to mow last week because it was raining so much. So the grass is a little long. He usually keeps it very, very nice. But yeah, this way his yard and my yard is all mowed. Obviously there's a fence in the back for Mr. Riggs, but the front yard is open between the two, and he just mows it as one big yard, and it makes it a really consistent, pretty lawn that looks like one big stretch with the lines and that all very similar, which is kind of nice. It makes the lawn look really pretty. Now for these flowers, which are different than these, so I think what I'm going to do is take the orange, because I don't want to get too many colors. I mean, I've already got the red and yellow and the blue, and I've highlighted the yellow flowers with orange, so I'm going to make these orange, trying to keep it all in complementary colors. Since the kimono is red, could have done with I know the complementary for red is green, but I certainly don't want her to look like she's celebrating a Christian Christmas. That would be bad. And I know that, you know, they're complementary colors and all that, but every single time I see and I'm going to take, let me see if I can mirror this, the name of this pencil,
Pale Geranium Lake as my dark. I know Emily Illustrators usually does like a 3 color combination on things. I do the 3, but I have a tendency to do 2 and just shading in the 2 different colors. Maybe I'm strange, I don't know. Once again, bring it out. Kind of blend it in. Make sure that I'm getting a smooth transition. It's one of the reasons I love the polys. I can control them. There you go. Now we've got leaves. And I am going to start with this is leaf green for leaves. Leaf green, of course. Do a nice light shade of leaf green. And then my favorite green color, hooker green. And it's not because of the name. I just love this color. I absolutely love this color. It to me is probably one of the prettier greens I've ever seen. And put in some spines on that leaf. Go back to the leaf green. And that will be my my leaves. Simple, very simple leaf. Now these little flowers. And they're all over, and I think they need to be red, and they're really this is middle cadmium red. Off the tip where I took it out of there. Okay, and I'm just gonna I'm not gonna do shading. They're just little balls. And then I'm going to go with the hooker green. And add stems. To them. And that will be, well, that was off a screen. Let me try that again. Originally, I thought about doing these little ball flowers and like gel pen, but then I thought, no, there's nothing sparkly about her, and that would just, I want the main focus to be her and not anything else. So that's how I'm going to do these flowers. And obviously I'm not anywhere near completing this page, but I wanted to give you an idea of what I'm doing. I will finish the rest of it off a screen because we don't want to spend hours here. Although I do want to touch up on this hair. I am not happy with the hair. So I've got my black. And just adding a little shading. Especially adding a few little flecks here and there. Yeah, that's making it much better. I'm going to flip her. I like the blue. Yeah, I think that adds a little bit more to it. Don't want her bushy. And I think I need to add some sort of color to her eyes, and I don't want red, obviously, but maybe using crimson. Oh, I just broke the living crap out of that one. I apologize. And just hinting of eyeshadow. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's how I'm going to be finishing up this picture. I'm very happy with the eyes now. I will post the finished picture on my page. I may do a short clip for YouTube of whenever I get everything done, just to show the finished page. But I'm going to finish up, spend a couple hours doing the umbrella, finish the flowers in the same manner, and I will post up here and on Facebook. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me in my continuing coloring adventure. As I said, I will post again soon, I hope. It was nice to be able to relax and color for a while. And I hope you enjoyed this as much as I have enjoyed doing it. And I will talk to you later. Bye for now.